What's up, everybody? So in this short video, I'm going to explain to you what spiritual intelligence is, why it's important, and how to cultivate it. So without further ado, what is spiritual intelligence? Spiritual intelligence is a term. The world's leading thinkers have come to the conclusion that there are three forms of intelligence. There's intellectual intelligence, IQ, emotional intelligence, EQ, and spiritual intelligence, SQ. So the world's leading thinkers are saying and are concluding, and I agree, that this is the most superior form of intelligence is spiritual intelligence. It is what governs the other forms of intelligence and enables you can actually through spiritual intelligence you can actually increase your intellect, your IQ, and your EQ. These are no longer believed to be fixed qualities. In other words, with enough spiritual intelligence, you can cultivate IQ, you can cultivate emotional intelligence. And so, what is spiritual intelligence? It's is the central and most fundamental of all the intelligences because it comes the source of guidance for others. Spiritual intelligence expands a person's capacity to understand others at their deepest levels. It also enables a person to discern between the true cause of their behavior without judgment, and to serve the true needs of others until they're able to meet their own needs without help. Spiritual intelligence requires constant self-awareness. The more self-aware a person becomes, the more they are able to abide as that, to walk in spirit. Because of time and life, surrender is seen to be an action word that requires ongoing vigilance. When a person loses self-awareness, however, they are prone to acting out of reactive mind patterns and living from their conditioning, which is governed by their fears and desires. Anyway, so scroll down here a little bit. This little article I wrote on spiritual intelligence. The 12 principles underlying spiritual intelligence include humility, able to understand one's true place in the world and having a sense of being one player in a larger drama unfolding. Freedom from pride really is common sense understanding that if there's anything good about you, you didn't have anything to do with it. Everything, including you, belongs to Source. Pride is for fools. Compassion is having the ability to feel with another and have deep empathy. It is a feeling that arises when you are confronted with another person's suffering and feel compelled to relieve that suffering. And self-awareness, as mentioned earlier, this one is huge. Self-awareness is everything. It is knowing what you truly believe and value most and what deeply motivates you. It includes the ability to focus on yourself constantly and see how your thoughts, actions, and emotions do not align with your standards. If you are a highly self-aware individual, you'll be able to objectively evaluate yourself on a constant basis and regulate your emotions to align your behaviors and values and correctly understand how you are perceived by others. Self-awareness is mirrored by selflessness. But the more self-aware a person is, the more spiritual intelligence they're able to cultivate. Keep in mind, awareness is everything. There's one conscious principle operating in the universe as awareness. It is the underlying substratum, the ever-present reality, and that abiding as awareness on an individual level, if you're able to objectify the mind and body, if you're able to objectify the ego, you're able to flow, you're able to relinquish your likes and dislikes, neutralize them, abide in flow states. From a state of constant self-awareness is everything. And we'll move back to that one later. But spontaneity, living in the present moment, that self-awareness, when you're abiding as awareness, you live spontaneously, you're more creative, you're less likely to react from your mental conditioning. Being creative and not living from your conditioning, being childlike. Spontaneous people are very creative, childlike. They are ready to do something on a moment's notice. They live in the moment, in the now, and whatever life presents, whatever challenges, they intuitively know how to handle them. That's in another video I'll cover most excellent, elementary, fundamental, must-read spiritual book for anyone on the path, and that's Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now. Ego needs time. So if you're able to abide as awareness in the now, you're able to abide as awareness, and you can cultivate spiritual intelligence. Another one of the principles is being led by values and a vision, acting from spiritual principles and deep held beliefs and living accordingly, thinking of the greater good of all. Holism, ability to see larger patterns, relationships, and connections, and having a sense of belonging. The next one is field independence, having the ability to stand against a crowd and stand behind your own convictions. This is essential on the spiritual path when the spiritual paradigms in the West are absolute nonsense, driven by insanity in many cases. In the land of the blind, the one who sees. Well, let's put it this way: when everyone else is running towards a cliff, the one running the other way will appear to be insane. And that's field independence. The ability to think for oneself is essential. If you're not able to do that, yeah, you stick with your, celebrating diversity, valuing others for their differences, and they're not and not despite their differences. Celebrating diversity is understanding that there's one conscious principle operating here. It seeks diversity. It honors authenticity and uniqueness. Celebrating diversity is a realization of the underlying conscious animating principle underlying everything in the universe, that the universe seeks uniqueness, it rewards authenticity, and that diversity is, everyone's a mirror of you. You know what I mean? So the more different they are, that means the more, the more creative the creator is. And the ability to reframe things is another important principle. Being able to stand back from a situation or problem in life, see the bigger picture or wider context. This helps you to avoid sweating the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. Another principle is the tendency to ask fundamental questions like why. The undying need to understand things. This is something that affected me at a young age. It's part of the reason I got into journalism. It's part of the reason why I've read essentially every spiritual book I could get my hands on for many years, is to just need to answer these questions. It manifests itself as an undying thirst to know, to understand the operating mechanisms of the universe. It also highly evolved souls, often at a young age, are asking these questions. And also the most fundamental question, I touched on this in another video, is who am I? If you are plagued by this question, know that you are a highly evolved soul, maybe perhaps a starseed or just an old soul is what they would say, is that somewhere deep inside you, you know that this life is very short. It's just one stop along the road, and that eternity stretches before and after it. When that governs your, when that is an important factor, the small pinpricks of life, they don't phase you. So then another principle is positive use of adversity, and this is the learning to use life setbacks and mistakes as springboards for growth, utilizing one's pain and suffering for growth, ultimately helping others. And then the other one is sense of vocation, feeling called upon to serve the greater good or give back for the blessed sacred gift of human life. So that is my article, and I have some more content on that. I will post this on my website, mindbodyspiritmastery.com. But the ultimate spiritual intelligence, ultimately the highest form of spiritual intelligence, comes with a complete understanding of the impermanence and futility of worldly pursuits and worldly pleasures. True spiritual intelligence is complete understanding that a relationship with one's creator is the highest form of enjoyment one can attain in life, as well as service to others, service to the whole, presenting value to life. Worldly pleasures pale in comparison to the truly devout spiritual life that embraces selflessness, renunciation, and service to others. Great masters of all ages say all the pleasures in the world are but a drop in the bucket compared to the undying, eternal bliss of self-realization and enlightenment. Christ says about this in, the one who drinks the water I bring shall not thirst again, but shall become a river of life. He's talking about a state of being so fulfilling, nothing in this world compares to it. In any case, this article also includes the scale of consciousness, which I will come back to in another video. For now, I want to thank you all for watching. I would encourage you to please smash that subscribe button. I love you all. It's an exciting time to be alive, and we'll see you again soon. Love you all.